Alright, hey, what is up YouTube? Kyo here coming at you with a brand new YouTube video. And you're probably wondering, where have you been? Well, if you didn't know, I did move to Japan a couple months ago in August, and a little bit before that I actually wasn't really too happy with the state of Legacy of the Void, so I basically took a break from all content creation and playing Starcraft pretty much altogether. But recently I've been getting back into Starcraft. I've been streaming it a little bit more, and so I live in Japan now, and I've been playing a little bit more on the Korea server, and yeah, it's definitely way better practice, that's for sure. You play much better players more often, and I've also been making YouTube videos about living in Japan, so a lot of stuff going on. But I'm hopefully going to be getting back into video production here, and hopefully bringing you guys some cool content. So if you guys haven't noticed, this game is actually between State and ForGG, and I asked State if it was okay, and he said go ahead. Basically just going to talk about some of the builds he does, kind of the metagame in the Korean server, and basically what Protoss has been up to lately on the Korea server. So I guess getting into the game a little bit here, we can see that State went for gas. You can see that he's rallying probes to his assimilator, so he doesn't have too much gas at the beginning here. But opening up with the Nexus, and still doesn't have that gas yet. Rallying his 21st probe there, and ForGG in the upper left is going for Rax Reaper opener, pretty standard, into a CC, and this is pretty much the common opener right now on the Korea server, and it's pretty much the same as it was in Heart of the Swarm, but basically there's a little bit of variation when we start getting the tech. Let's see, State's Reaper is actually going to go down to the Reaper here, and getting up his second gas, has Mothership Core on the way. Adept, and gonna start this research here with this 50 gas that he just got up. ForGG getting his factory after his Reaper, and one Marine, and this is just a safety Marine, getting a reactor on there, and going over here to scout. Now the Reaper has to be very careful in Legacy of the Void here, because it actually does die in 2 shots from the photon overcharge on the pylon cannon things that we have in the game right now. You actually see a Twilight Council going down here. Gonna block the Reaper a little bit and actually let the Adept kill it. We see the Mothership Core and probe moving across the map here. And sorry if you guys couldn't tell, I'm actually a little bit. Actually, I'm not really sick, but I'm recovering from. I was sick a little bit. Had a little bit of a cold here. It's getting pretty cold here in Japan now. Not as cold as Kentucky, but anyway, we can see ForGG going for a Cyclone here, and this is pretty much really standard on the Korea server right now, and I think pretty much any good Protoss player is doing this right now. Bringing your Mothership Core and building pylons at the ramp. So there's a little bit of a meta behind this. If you don't wall, which prevents this from happening, basically all your stuff getting wrecked. The problem is that the Adepts can actually just run into your base then. So you kind of have to make a choice. What buildings do you want to lose? There's not really a good way to defend against this right now, I feel, for Terran. Getting the Cyclone is pretty much the best thing you can do. Back at home, we do see that State is actually teching and stuff, though, and killing a lot of workers at the same time, though. So it gives Protoss a lot of power in the early game, and it doesn't really cost that much. We can see he's only lost 2 Adepts and 2 Pylons, but he killed a Reactor, and Reactors take so long to build, 36 seconds. And his infrastructure, ForGG's infrastructure, is really behind now. We can see he only has 1 Rax with no add-on. He has a factory, a starport, and he's just now adding his other barracks. But we can see back at State Space, he's got a total of 6 gateways here, and already has his robotics, adding on a warp prism, and already has his upgrade for his Adepts finished. So the trade here seems so much better in almost every situation for Protoss. We can see ForGG moving across the map here, but you can see here this Liberator. This may be the only good thing here for ForGG that he's got going for him, since he has a bit of tech. But actually, I think if State had actually just built one of these pylons or this pylon in a better position, I think even that Liberator would have not done too much. It has 0 kills, but see this Mothership core going to get taken down. The pylon, State was starting a 3rd base here, and the reason for that is if ForGG doesn't push State's infrastructure and expansion economy is pretty much complete at that point. All he has to do after that is pretty much make units and attack. But ForGG coming with a push here, knowing that he can't let that happen, trying to catch whatever counter damage he can on his State. Stopping that mining was actually probably the biggest deal for ForGG, because if that had not happened, State would be even significantly more rich than he already is right now. You can see up here he's warping in 6 Adepts, though, to counterattack, and we'll just keep the Workers tab open here. You can see ForGG is going to start working on these pylons, killing off the power of the State's gateways. And back at ForGG's base, we can see SCVs are not very good versus Adepts. My god. 43 worker kills. He has 2 SCVs. Literally 2 SCVs. So, I don't know, I think the only thing that could have really gone better for State in this sort of situation would have been if his Mothership core that was protecting the ramp here had actually been in position to photon overcharge. See, this Immortal's about to pop out and State's coming for an attack here. It's okay for him to lose probes because, like I said, ForGG only has a couple SCVs right now. So State up to 17 probes. And ForGG is still taking damage back in his base. Adepts pretty much kill everything. So we can see just from the beginning of this game how that pylon rush does so much damage to Terran infrastructure, and how it pretty much stumps the progression of the game for Terran. In my games, I've been doing even just like a 1-base Adept push, and if they wall, you can also just bring pylons with it. But in my games, this is something that I've been feeling too, with making so many Adepts. Sometimes you just have so much gas, it's kind of weird. As Protoss, Heart of the Swarm, it was the complete opposite. You would never have gas, but State basically just trying to push out this aggression here. Looks like he is gonna lose that. Yeah, Warp Prism does go down, and now he's just moving across the map. He knows that he has so much more economy than ForGG right now. It's okay to even just trade units as long as ForGG isn't making more mining units. This is always going to be better for State. And now it's just Marines. These Adepts gonna go right past them. And if we look at the units, I think 10 Marines, 1 Liberator, and 5 SCVs. You can see Mules are helping out a little bit, but not all that much. This Liberator's trying to do what it can do, but I mean, State has like a fully saturated base over here. And ForGG doesn't have much left, so this Liberator is going to go down, and with that, ForGG is going to tap out of the game, and GG to State. So I think this is pretty standard. If you guys are looking for a build to use on the Korea server, I think coming up here with 1 or 2 Adepts and a probe and the Mothership core, you can do a lot of damage at the front of a Terran's base. You do have to be careful of things like Reapers, though, back at your home base, because if you don't kill that first Reaper, at the very beginning of the game, we saw this Twilight Council kind of block that Reaper, and State was able to get the kill. And it's also possible to use the overcharge on the pylon, but that does mean you have 1 less overcharge at their ramp. But this map in particular is very good for it, because you can phase between these 2 bases, and it's hard for Terran to really deal with it adequately right now, I think. So I'm not really sure how they're going to address that. There's a number of things that I think still need to be looked at, and I think the pylon rush is probably one of them. It seems like Protoss just gets a bit too much cost efficiency out of this trade while being able to build up economy back at home. Anyway, if you guys like the replay, make sure to follow, and if you want to watch live gameplay, make sure to check out my Twitch TV, and I'll see you guys in the next replay. Thanks for watching. Peace.